Well, New Japan Pro Wrestling are now ending the first rounds of the New Japan Cup. I'm also going to review two events by DDT Pro Wrestling. You're probably going to like it. Some I don't know how you would feel about it, or you find it very interesting. So, let's get started on this episode of Deleted WrestleZone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted WrestleZone. All things that it's pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J Rod here. So let's get started right now with New Japan, with their latest New Japan Cup. As you know, we're in the finals of the first round. The last two matches in the first rounds, that's going to be very heavy. So let's just go from opening match to the ending. First match we got Chaos, consistent of Tomohiro Ishii and his second partner of the six-man tag team titles for the Never Openweight, Yoshihashi, taking on the Young Lion, Yota Tsuji, and of course David Finlay. It was a good match. I mean, in this match you can see Yota Tsuji has progressed enough, but however, you cannot deny the abilities of both Ishii and Yoshihashi, how strong they have become, how much especially Yoshihashi has evolved throughout 2020. But the answer to that, Chaos won their match. Next match we got Bullet Club, consistent of Yado, Yujiro Takahashi, and of course the Rogue General Balak Fale, taking on Yuya Uemura, Tomoaki Honma, and Satoshi Kojima. Now, this is one of those matches Yuya Uemura is being the tough kid in the Young Lions, but however, you can't take on guys like Balak Fale or Yujiro. But however, the match was, to me, I didn't feel much pump with this one. But I'll tell you who won. Yujiro picked up the victory for his team. Very interesting. Next match we got LIJ, consistent of all four remaining members, while Hiromu is out of action. Bushi, Naito, Tagagi, and Sanada, taking on Chaos members Sho, Okada, Goto, and of course the Blue Justice himself, Yuji Nagata. It was also another interesting match because if you know, Sanada is one of the few people that are the favorite to win the New Japan Cup, for me, and also my friend Nico believes that too. But it was a great match where Sanada was able to pick up the victory for his team. I'm not sure who is he gonna face. No, never mind. It was Chaos who picked up the victory. As you know, this is something that we definitely got to pay attention on. I don't know who's he gonna face. I'm assuming it's gonna be Hiroki Goto because I do know he did advance to the second round, so hopefully it's him. But we'll see what happens. Now we get the next match: Bullet Club, consistent of Chase Owens, Kenta, and Jay White, taking on Toru Henare, Juice Robinson, and Hiroshi Tanahashi. So I do know that Tanahashi and Jay are in fact in the tournament. But however, Jay White doesn't want to get in the face of Toa Henare because he feels that he's beneath him. Because Jay White has consistently said to himself, time and time again, that this is his cup, the new J Cup. That this is still his era. He said the same thing about the G1, they're calling it the J1. So, but however, it did not become his night thanks to I think it was Toru Hanare who picked up the victory. But however, I think that maybe at some point we are going to see Tanahashi and Jay White face to face since they're both still in the tournament. Now we get to the last two remaining rounds of the last two remaining matches in the first round. We got the Great Okan taking on, of course, Toru Yano. Now, I didn't know what to expect. Now, you look at Khan, he is the most serious individual. When you look at him, you can tell he's going to tear you apart. Yano, on the other hand, he's the kind of guy he will try to pull tricks on you, but you wouldn't expect it. But there was an interesting moment. Khan kind of requested Yano to tape him up. Now that was very unusual, but for me, I'm like thinking, oh, I get it. He's gonna show him that nothing can keep him down, and he did. There were moments that Yano was unable to get back from it. As you can tell, Khan is just too much. He's a big, powerful dude. But I think the biggest surprise is, if you guys don't know, Khan has this ponytail like any Mongolian. Yano was able to tie it up in the guardrail. And of course, Khan has no other choice but to cut it out. And that put him in deep pain. He grabbed the scissors trying to kill Yano. And of course, he gave Khan the low blow like he normally does, allowing himself to win the match. Now, I get the feeling somewhere down the line this is far from over between both Khan and Yano. You see, for Khan, he feels that something was taken from him, cutting his own ponytail. But we'll just wait and see in the upcoming weeks what happened. Now we get to the most interesting match between Jeff Cobb and Evil. Now this feud took place a couple weeks ago, or I think it was a few days ago. I don't remember. Some point in the beginning of the tournament. Evil insulted Cobb, and of course, trying to attack him. And all of a sudden, he just made fun of him. And of course, Evil attacked Jeff Cobb, tried to choke him out by having the Togo use the garrote. But man, this was a very killer match because it didn't matter for Jeff if Dick Togo was by his side. The dude was a powerful man. Now, I would have assumed, in my personal opinion, and Nico probably would have agreed with me too, that Jeff Cobb would have won this match. But however, it did not, thanks to Yujiro Takahashi, who was supposed to be commentating, decided to help. Yeah, he got away with that, which is not cool. But it did. So, basically, Cobb is no longer in the tournament. Evil advances in the second round. So, I do know that on the 13th, what are we? Yeah, the 13th Saturday, March 13th, which is a Saturday, is the beginning of the second round. So we're still in the New Japan Cup. So anything could happen. Anything could surprise us along the way. So I think that's it right now with New Japan. So I got more Japanese wrestling for you guys. So let's get started with two events with DDT Pro Wrestling. So I say we start with one. The Chris Brooks produced number 2. Alrighty, this is DDT Pro Wrestling. This one is the Chris Brooks produced number 2. Now, you're probably wondering, who in the hell is Chris Brooks? Chris Brooks is a wrestler all the way from Australia. I don't know how long he's been living in Japan, but he's been appearing in DDT Pro Wrestling on various occasions. He's an amazing wrestler. So I heard that he produced this show. It's only a 3-match event. Probably this is going to be a short segment with, doing his. But this one took place on the 7th of February. And luckily, what you guys didn't know, their venue that they use is the same one where the AEW Women's World Title Eliminator took place for the Japanese bracket. It was a pretty good show. The outro was more of a comedy. If you guys are not fans of DDT, they throw in a bit of the comedy routine. Shota, one of the wrestlers, and this other guy, I don't know who tried to be Chris Brooks, tried to steal the spotlight, but apparently Chris Brooks and the guy, some other guy who I don't know, but who was supposed to be Shota, showed up out of nowhere and decided to get involved. But of course, Chris Brooks took care of that, and that's how it is. So the first match is Chris Brooks teaming with, of course, Tokyo Yoshi Pro Wrestling star Miyu Yamashita. Fantastic wrestler. If you guys know who she is, then you guys know what you're in for. Those who don't know, she's a fantastic wrestler with a karate background. She's one of the top wrestlers in Tokyo Yoshi Pro. And if you guys look at her on Google or just check her up on YouTube, you know what I mean. Taking on DDT Sonic Club, Shona Katsumata, and Yuki Unio. Chris Brooks has a bit of a grudge with these guys. I don't know how long. I don't recall, because the thing is this: in DDT Pro Wrestling, there isn't like one of those English commentator, but except for this one, they did. But it was a good match, not to mention because there's three dudes and one girl. But it was interesting. Miyu's not afraid to throw down with the guys, and that's one of the reasons she's one of the best wrestlers I've seen so far in the Japanese wrestling game, and I'm always been impressed by her. And of course, um, you cannot deny Chris Brooks, who he knows that he teamed up with a good partner, but um, Katsumura and Unio, they're one of the most interesting teams ever because they're part of a group that have a little fun. But however, the fun was over when Chris Brooks picked up the victory. I think he put Unio in a submission, and he tapped out. Now we get to a very interesting, fun match. We got Hyper Misao taking on Mecha Mummy. Yes, I don't know where this one come from, but Mecha Mummy was it was like a fun segment because you have a superhero versus like a robot mummy or something. It seems like the match was not going in favor of Hyper Misao, but she later amped up her power. The match kind of ended in a no contest. Basically, both of them couldn't outdo each other, but it was a good match. Don't get me wrong. Now, the main event was Billion Aki, who we seen on Got to Move Pro Wrestling, and one half of the Super Asian Tag Team titles, taking on Kunosuke Takeshita. Awesome match, I have to say. I enjoyed it. I mean, I love Billion, how he works, but of course, Takeshita is also phenomenal the way he is. Match ended with Takeshita applying the Tiger suplex on Billion. It ended just like that. But it could have gone a little bit more longer, but that's how it is for them. So what did I thought of it? Even though it was just 3 matches, very interesting. I haven't seen the first produced show that Chris Brooks done. Hopefully I can find it somewhere, but we'll see about that. So let's go to the other event, DDT Ganbare Over the Top. Alrighty, so the last thing I'm going to be reviewing from DDT Pro Wrestling, it's from a show called Ganbare Over the Top. This took place also on the 7th in Tokyo, while there were multiple DDT shows happening elsewhere. Um, don't ask me why that happens. I probably will do that another later in a later date. But however, let's just go with the first match. Now, the opening match, I heard of the name Rekka before. I'm not sure if I saw him in another show, but we'll see. One second, Rekka. Well, but we'll see about that against Hito Iwanari. Don't know these guys completely clearly, but however, the match was very interesting, great singles competition. But of course, excuse me. So it was a very interesting match. To me, I was biased, but I did weighted who was going to win. It was, of course, um, Iwanari. I have to say it was a pretty good wrestling match. Now, the next match is a women's match. We have Asuka, but as we know her on the AEW Women's Title World Eliminator, as Veni is facing off against Yana Manase. Awesome match. I did like this one a lot because I've seen these girls before, how they wrestled. Two great wrestlers, but of course, Asuka actually really, really impressed me the most, even with her being in different promotions that I've seen her other than the AEW Eliminator, Pro Wrestling Zero, and others. But it was a good match. I did enjoy it, and I have to say Asuka actually won the match completely great with a great submission move. I didn't expect so much of it, but it was great. Next match, we got Shota teaming up with Ken Oka, taking on Taro Takashi Sasaki. Another good match. I was looking at Gentaro. He actually appeared in Freedoms. I was surprised, but however, this match was so good because I look at Gentaro and Sasaki. They're mostly the tougher dudes, the ones that they look more serious, that they're determined to win, and that's how I saw it. It was a good match. Shota and Kenoka actually didn't seem like they had a chance. But it was a very interesting match because you see Gentaro and Sasaki, they seem determined to win. And of course, and that's what they did. Next match is another singles competitor. We got Shinichiro Tominagi taking on Akudo Idaka, who I seen recently with Pro Wrestling Noah. Another good match in this one. Great. Some good submissions they're trying to pull off. Great technical wrestling. But however, it's Hidaka who actually won the match. It was good. I enjoyed it. Now we got the main event. This is for the GWC 6-man Tag Team Championship with the challengers Arukaze, Koko Uwasaki, and Kosuke Ishii, who I've seen various times, not only in DDT but also in All Japan, taking on the champions, the Halfy, consistent of Washi Sakura, Mohiko Harumi Suma, and Katsusaki Shinozuke. This is a very good match, but also tell the story because if you look at it, I look at this Harukaze. She is determined to win her first championship match, and I feel like she actually pulled it off, like any other match that you've seen so far. I was like, wow. But however, the match ended in the challenger's favor, becoming the GWC 6-man tag team champions. And of course, Harukaze broke down in tears after winning because it's like anybody's dream is to win the titles in Japan. It's always been like that. But it was a good match. I did enjoy it. So there'll be more DDT events that I'll be following. So stay tuned for that. Soon I'll be doing another video with Ring of Honor, MLW, NXT UK, 205 Live, and New Japan Strong. And of course, we got Sacrifice coming up. And I think we're going to do a DWZ discussion talking about the AEW title versus title match that I've been wanting to talk about, how this story progressed, what to come when we get to Rebellion from then on. So I think that's it for now. So I'll see you guys next time on the next DWZ time, next on this DWZ channel. And I must bid all of you guys adieu. So goodbye. Mwah. Have a nice day. Bang!